Everyone, and welcome back to Green Gaming Fest 2023. I am so excited. We've got an amazing block continuing through into the afternoon today. In just a second, we're going to see some Super Mario 3D World, 3D World Any Percent by SMMidi. I want to shout out as we go into it, we have an incentive open for this run for World Crown Item Lists, which is adding a few extra final post-game levels for Captain Toad, Mystery House Marathon, and Champions Road. So if you're interested in seeing some of the final content in 3D World, be sure to get your donations in for that. And without further ado, I'd love to kick it over to SMMidi.
Hi, I'm SMMidi, or just Midi. I speedrun lots of different games, a lot of DS recently, Wii series as well. Been doing a lot of different stuff. I'm mainly a 3D World one trick for Mario, but we're going to be showcasing Any Percent today. Lots of different stuff to talk about early on in the run, but we're going to get started in just a moment, starting off with Toad, not Mario. So I'll just give a quick countdown. So 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so starting off in 3D World, differences between Wii U and Switch instantly. We're able to skip the minute and 40 cutscene that we'd normally have to see, which is fantastic. A few different cutscenes we can skip, not all of them, but most of them. Makes this run a little bit faster. And not just that, but a base speed increase. If you've played Wii U 3D World, you'll notice just how much faster this version is, just by playing the game. You don't even really have to be trying to go fast to experience how much faster it is. But we will be trying to do some jumping around, some vectoring as we go through, basically jumping at different angles to try and get some speed. And we are also collecting some green stars. Reason for that is because you need 170 to complete this game at the Any Percent level. So we're not collecting all of them, but we are still going out of our way, getting some of the easy ones that don't take too much time as a detour. And that's the first split there. So the other thing to note is that I was waiting a little bit there just to make sure I didn't get fireworks. So on any level with pretty much with a flagpole, if you get a 1, 3, or a 6 on the end of the timer, you're going to get fireworks. I'm going to try and watch out for that. It's not the end of the world if we do get fireworks once or twice, but I will try and avoid it where possible. Now, I'm using Toad to start off with. We will be using other characters eventually, but Toad is pretty much just fast. He is the fastest character in the game. There are other characters that we will be using. Unfortunately, we won't be using Mario, ironically, because he doesn't have any extra traits that make him worth using. The only time we would use him is in a run like 380 stars, which collects all the stars in the game, because you need to get most of the stamps as well. And one of the stamps requires you to use Mario literally just to step on a stamp switch with his emblem on. So yeah, that's the only reason we use Mario a single time. But here we do not need stamps. In fact, we're trying to actively avoid them because it will give us an extra screen at the end. There was another underground level, using Toad to just run around, grab those extra stars, and using that shell, throwing that shell at the enemy to get that final green star, go in the warp pipe, and we're straight into World 2. Another thing you might have noticed, already I've done it a couple of times, is use the gyro cursor to grab stars. And that is one thing that was also on Wii U. Wii U would have used the gamepad, but here you can use the cursor, which once you get used to it, it does work better because you can use not just... you don't really have to take your hand off the controller to use it like you would have on the gamepad with the touch controls. You can just press R to activate the cursor. So pretty much all the time I've got the cursor on the screen just to make sure I've got it when I need it. Here I will be using Luigi though, and I'm going to try and do quite a nice smooth turn there, which did happen. Very nice coming through here. I'm going to freeze this enemy just to hit this block because this is the one with the star. Almost got hit. Luckily we didn't, but that is fine. Come up to this last one and then Captain Toad's going to give us another green star. So Luigi jumps higher and he's also a lot easier to do some of the speed movement with, so vectoring, and also if you are one of the top runners, crouch boosting. Crouch boosting is essentially a method of speeding up your character where when you crouch, you get a very small extra burst of speed, which sounds counterintuitive. You're crouching, you'd think you'd slow down, but you do speed up for a few frames. If you jump during that speed up, you're going to get a little bit of a speed boost. I'm not really at the level where that's needed. Vectoring is much easier, more consistent. It's just not really worth going for vectoring, crouch boosting at this stage. Vectoring is much more effective. We're going to go back to Toad, though, because this is a running level. And if you're familiar with Wii U, you might be thinking, isn't 3D World a really punishing game? Like, if you lose your catsuits, you just can't really do anything. And that was the case on Wii U. It still kind of is the case here because the catsuit opens up the abilities we have. There's a lot less capabilities with itemless or with other items in the game than there is with catsuit. Some people do use Tanuki. Tanuki also has some interesting stuff going on, but for the most part, I won't be using it where I can help it. Just press that switch because why not? And come through here, hit this Bowser statue, which is just a cardboard cutout, and then we're going to grab this final star. So this one we can't actually grab early. I do have to wait for Toad to spawn it in. Or Captain Toad, use his full title. Gonna grab the flagpole there. And another thing, I'm trying to grab as low on the flagpole as I can. This is one of the very few Mario games where it's actually worth grabbing low on the flagpole because the Bowser flag just disappears. It doesn't have to go all the way down, it just disappears. So going low is generally good, but if I do get high on the flagpole, I might just go for the gold flag because it's sometimes better than waiting for my catsuit stamina to run out, but that's going to be pretty situational. And this is going to be the level where if this was a longer run, where I needed the stamp, this would be a Mario level. And that is because of that Mario switch on the right-hand side there we just went past. We will be using Toad, though. Come through here, grab the other star, and then go in another underground segment. So you can actually get straight onto that pipe there if you grab the corner. I do go for it, but it's it is far too precise for its own good. It really does not look as precise as it is. We're going to be seeing a flip panel section here, though, or a colored panel section. So I'm using the gyro cursor just to hit these panels. I'm going to go in the pipe and then grab the ball to grab the star. Go straight down here. Very nice. Didn't bonk on the wheel, which is very good. And then come through here, grab some coins again, because why not? You'll see me just doing stuff with the cursor most of the time. I'm just doing it because I can. Go in the pipe there. And as long as you're holding ZL to go in the pipe, you will just go straight in. You don't actually have to stop moving. So it is quite nice to be able to do that. And that's one of the movement options that's new to this version. On Wii U, we did not have this movement option. It's kind of referred to as like an Odyssey dive. Obviously, it's a little bit different because we have a catsuit, but if I press ZL to ground pound and then I cancel the ground pound with X, it will then sort of do a little dive like that. It works if you have a catsuit or not, but slightly differently, or it looks slightly different. Either way, it's a really nice way of speeding up at the beginning of basically every level. Anyway, here we're going to be doing a mystery house. We don't actually have to play these, but they're really fast green stars, so we might as well. 5 really quick ones here. Grabbing these green stars slightly early with the gyro cursor so they don't scroll up. If we didn't do this with the gyro cursor, they would have to move up a little bit. Saves about half a second to a second each time. So it all adds up. We're grabbing 170 of these, so it does add up very quickly. And then back onto the normal path, we're going to be playing a mini boss. So you might have noticed there, I used the gyro cursor to hit those Galoombas. And the reason I did that is because it reduces them down to 1 HP instead of 2. We're going to do the exact same thing here with the big Galoombas. So this is pretty fast. We do have to do this. And it's pretty much a mini boss in any world. But because this is actually on the path, we do have to do it. Some of the levels are on a crossroads, so we don't have to do all of them. But that one is just directly in the middle. So there's no way of skipping it. And then next up is 2-5. We have another new power-up coming up. It's the double cherry. So I'm going to be grabbing 1 double cherry. I am going to grab every star, though. If you were playing as intended, you would need 4 characters for the end star. but I'm going to try to get around that. So here we're going to grab one. I'm going to get one in the pipe, grab this green star, and then go in the green pipe over there. And then here, this is the only reason we need two characters. So these P switches, you can't abuse those. You have to have as many characters as it says. So yeah, they're pretty set as they are. So here, I'm actually, I'm trying to make that one despawn. There is a faster way of doing it. That's a shame. There is a way of doing it that's slightly faster. But hold on, I'm just going to grab this green star. There we go. So come through here, end up on the flagpole. There we go. So skipping that 4 lift because who needs to do that when you can just climb? But yeah, there's a way of dealing with that clone that's slightly faster. So when that clone despawned, it essentially throws the screen in the same way as when you grab a power-up in most Mario games. However, if you lose the clone by it falling off the stage, then the screen doesn't pause. So you save like a fraction of a second, like 0.4 or something silly. So really not worth worrying about too much. But it does exist if I can pull it off. But it doesn't really make a massive difference. Anyway, coming up, massive auto-scroller now, a couple of minutes long before we actually get to anything interesting. I am going to have to be a little careful, though. In fact, I might even grab that fire flower just to make sure I don't lose this cat on this level, because that would be embarrassing. Not to mention that there aren't many catsuit levels coming up. There actually aren't any in World 3 that we're going to play in the any percent route. So this is going to be, pretty important to make sure we hold on to that so we can actually do some of the strats. In fact, I do have a backup I could grab. So we'll think about that when the time comes. But yeah, catsuits, for some of the World 3 levels, they will mean that we can do extra skips, whereas from the start of the run, it's mainly just to speed us up and do more speed tech, really. But if we've got any messages, then now is a good time to read them. We've still got another 30 seconds or so.
Sounds good. Just a quick check-in off the top. Roughly when in the run would we need to cut off the World Crown itemless incentive for this very run?
Excellent question. So that can be added on right at the end. So if someone donated $50 literally in Meowser in the final fight, that would be fine. So really it can just be cut off at the end.
Amazing, will do. I also just remembered that the final boss is called Meowser, and that constantly brings me joy. In addition to the 3D World Crown itemless incentive, we also have some incentives open. A difficulty upgrade for Remember Me this evening to medium and then to hard, as well as a bid war between Selfish and Abandonment ending for Lone Fungus tonight. So there's lots to do, lots to contribute to. Please get those donations in. Back to you, Midi.
Yeah, definitely get your donations in, as long as you are putting it towards an incentive. Don't let it go to waste. So, this boss fight, it's boom boom, what can I say? The only thing is that, okay, I've just realised because I don't have Cat active right now, so I might as well just hit him on the head. But for the first two, it's worth hitting him on the head, and then the last one, you want to swipe him with the Cat. But here, because I don't really want to activate my Cat just to do that, it's not a big deal. Also, at the end, because I have something that isn't a cat suit, we can just grab the flagpole straight away. So, not too bad. Finishing up World 2 there. World 3 is going to be a little tough. Normally, I like to dub the end game as the gauntlet, but World 3, when you've only got one cat suit, is brutal. It won't cost us, like, several minutes, but it would be unfortunate if we didn't have a cat suit for some of these strats. There is one cat suit level in World 3, and that's 3-2. But 3-2, massive auto-scroller. You can't skip much of it at all, really. It's really just an exclusive to longer runs, any runs where you actually need to get the stars on that level. Here, it's on a crossroads, so thankfully we don't have to play it. I am going to change back to Cat here, though. We're going to do something called Ice Momentum with a bit of luck. So here, I'm going to grab a snowball, hit as many of these enemies as I can. Unfortunately, we did not grab the... Okay, not getting hit, at least. We didn't grab the star with a snowball, but that's fine. Here, as long as I just mash crouch a bunch of times, you build up more and more speed rather than slowing down on the ice, which is funny. Here, not grabbing a snowball in time, that's fine. I actually have to hit one of the enemies to get a snowball there. Or I can just carry one from earlier. So yeah, you can use the snowballs to grab stars a little bit quicker, but if not, you can just climb. That's absolutely fine as well. So finishing up that level, that was a Wii U strat as well. And Wii U, it was funnier because you go so slow on Wii U and then suddenly you've mashed crouch like 10 times and then you're just accelerating over the entire level. So yeah, that's that one. Coming up, we are going to continue using Toad for a while. We will be using other characters eventually. But Toad is just going to work out better for the most part. Now, it is hard to find two people that use the exact same characters through an entire run. And in fact, I used to use Luigi on one of these. Luigi on 3-3 is technically better if you can crouch boost or just really good at vectoring, but it's difficult to justify compared to just running through with Toad. Toad just makes it a lot more consistent and easier. So here I'm going to try and do bookshelf skip. So I'm going to climb on this bookshelf, go the other way and dive, and then skip having to climb on the two above it. So they're set in bookshelves. Bookshelves are set in cases of 2. So by doing that skip there, instantly diving in the other direction, once you actually know how to do it, it's pretty simple. I didn't used to do it until only a month or so ago, but it really is fairly simple. It saves a few seconds. Okay, going in the door would save a few seconds as well. But yeah, it does save time as long as you get it in the first couple of tries. So yeah, grab this star. The intended way of doing that is to go on the sofa over there, but we can easily just climb up instead. And then finish up this level. And a 4-2-0 on the timer, we're avoiding fireworks as well. So next up is not a mystery house, but it is a Captain Toad level. And Captain Toad levels are interesting. They're a precursor to the full game Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, which is an amazing game. You should play it. I still haven't completed it yet, but I should. I really should. These levels, they didn't really do much with them, to be fair, in 3D Worlds. There are 6 of them in this game. We're going to see 4 of them in this run. We are going to play all of them. And all 4 mystery houses. And maybe 5. Maybe we'll see 5 mystery houses out of the 6 if we meet that incentive. Actually, yeah, and Captain Toad. Yeah, we'll play... What am I talking about? We'll play 5 Captain Toads as well if we hit the incentive. That's a double right there. Yeah, so
the terms
here...
have been set.
We're going to play all... Yeah, we're going to play 5 instead of 4. Me completely knowing my incentives. Yeah, so this is a very linear level. If you're using multiple controllers, which is banned in main any percent, then you can skip a bunch of this, as in loads of time save. Okay, this pipe just doesn't work sometimes. I was literally holding up on the controller and it just doesn't go sometimes. But that's fine. So the only thing we can really do with one player is to skip part of the plank. But if I fall off, then I've got to do basically the whole level again. So hopefully that doesn't happen. So all we do is hit this P switch, grab this extra star. So the way the 2-player strat works here, simply by having 2 controllers, there we go. If you have one at the spawn point and the other in the ocean over there where I was pointing, really useful to use the cursor as a pointer rather than describe what I'm talking about. But yeah, if you have the 2 characters positioned like that, what you can do in multiplayer is bubble. So you can bubble to the other player, and then by pressing L and R. If you do that, and then you unbubble when you reach the grass part near the clear pipe, you then skip having to do a bunch of it. And if you do this twice in 2 different places, once on that part and once in a higher part, you save a bunch of time. It's not allowed in main any percent, but in longer runs where multiple controllers are allowed, like 380 stars, that would be absolutely fine. So here we're going to be using Toad, and I did actually warp on the world map. You're going to see that a few times in this run. Not every time, but most times, because green pipes in the world map are incredibly slow. So unless the world is world 6, where it's incredibly long to traverse the entire way, we're just going to be using that warp pipe, that world map instead of the warp pipe. It saves a few seconds, which is completely unreasonable, the fact that that saves that much time, but it is worth doing. So very, very quick level there. That is the first level we skipped a star. So we're going to see a lot more levels from now on where I'm skipping stars. The reason for that, some of them are just not really that fast. The one there is a cloud area, basically the bonus area of this game. And if I went in there, we'd have to do a bunch of running from left to right. So it just is pretty slow for what it is. And not just that, but some of the stars seem slow, but because you're doing the whole level anyway, it's not too bad. Whereas with that bonus area, the bonus area is literally just its own thing. So you're not really making progress in the level during that. Then coming up on this one, we are going to skip another star. This is a water level, and I'm stuck in the water. Let me get out of there so I don't take damage. I think I'm going to grab the extra catsuit here. I do not remember the last time I did that. In fact, oh yeah, I don't even know the timing. Okay, ignore me. We're gonna go past that. So we'll be fine. We'll be fine. It's only one level. What's one level with one catsuit? It's okay. So you can time those roulette blocks if you know how to. There is one coming up in World 4 that I do know the timing for, I promise. But it's been too long. It's been too long. It must have been in the Wii U days when I last did that one. It's fine. It's fine. So, so this one here, we are going to skip Green Star 2, and you're going to see exactly why. So here, going to do a deep dive. As long as you dive and hold the dive button when you're in the water, you get that deep dive there instead of the normal one. If I went up there, grabbed a cannon box, and then hit that broken wall with the cannon box, we'd then go into a gold room, which is basically a bonus area, but with coins. Rather than the cloud areas. It's, I guess, slightly different, I don't know. And then there's also a green star in there, but it means we have to go out of our way twice, rather than just once, so it's not really worth going for. Finish up the level here, make sure I'm holding ZL on that pipe, go straight in. And then get a 2 on the timer. Finish up that level. So this is the level in question where I really would have loved to have 2 catsuits. Having one is not great, but it's fine. If we don't hit the trick, then I'm just gonna have to do it the normal way. So yeah, hopefully we don't mess this up. So coming up here is another Toad level. This is Switchboard Falls. And Switchboard Falls, I'm going to explain straight away. The gyro cursor takes priority. If Toad is on the left and your cursor is on the right, the switchboard's going right. I don't know where the logic is in that, but I'm just going with it because it makes my life easier. So yeah, I'm not complaining. If we just get on the switchboard, that would be great. So skipping Green Star 1, that's literally just a massive fall from the ceiling down to the bottom. So not really worth doing. Here, I'm going to do this and hopefully land on this switchboard here. Hold the cursor on the side. Reason for that is because this big block is in the way, so we can't actually hold it for the rest. Then here, I'm going to do a massive dive down. I'm going to dive, grab the star on the way down, and then I'm also going to fall. Unfortunately, we did get the landing. That's okay. And then finish up the level. Pretty nice, actually. Yeah, I'm happy with that.
No sweat.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. It's the first skip actually is harder than the second one now. I used to struggle with the second one because I used to use Peach on the Switch version. Then I realized, wait, I can literally just do the Odyssey dive on the ground and then just do a normal dive into the star. And even if that fails, you can climb for longer in this game than the Wii U version anyway, so I can just climb the wall. So yeah, it's okay. But the first skip, there's a bunch of death planes like everywhere. So using Toad is what kind of makes it difficult compared to Peach, because Peach, as we're about to find out, has the Peach float, which will actually make this easier as well, hopefully. I'm going to grab Tanuki just in case things go awry, but I'm going to try and skip across trains. And the reason for that is because every time I do it, it's going to skip the camera a little bit. So the more right I am, the better it's going to be. Grab on there and grab this star. We're going to do it one more time because I don't do the full skip. And there we go. So get onto that side. And I'm going to stay on this side rather than go back again To make it worth it, I'd need to do 5 train jumps, which is just a bit hard. Reason for that is because I need to be on this side with the crate for Captain Toad's star. Now, that is a really funny star to grab early. This is one of the harder ones to do. I've only just sort of made up my own strat for it. I don't know if other people do it, but basically by putting your character where the star's going to be and just holding your character... Oh, we can get the jump. Okay, that's fine. Just by holding your character, you sort of grab the star, because your cursor needs to be holding on to something rather than the void to grab the star early. So here I was trying to do a rolling long jump into the boss to skip a cycle. Little bit easier on this version than Wii U, in my opinion. I don't know whether that's tried and tested or not, might just be me. But either way, unfortunately we just got a little crouch and a jump, which just looked a bit silly really, but it's fine. Only skips 1 cycle if it happens. And that's the boss. So thankfully we didn't die on the train jumps. That's the only death in my PB. So maybe we're about to witness a deathless PV, who knows? So we're not actually done with World 3. We've got 3-B coming up. So this is Histocrat. This is an additional mini-boss, but really it just involves spin jumping or ground pounding, and then Odyssey diving into the back of the boss. And that's it. So you don't actually have to see any of the boss fight. There are catsuits here, though, if I did really want them. And then we're going to see this random UFO come down. So there is a catsuit before the boss fight, and there are also a bunch of catsuits in the boss fight. Essentially, the boss works by spawning in snakes. Most of them spawn in with plates. Some of them spawn in with... this is a Luigi level for the higher jump. Yeah, some of them spawn in with plates, some of them spawn in with plates with catsuits on them, or coins, and some of them spawn in with no plate, and then they just bite instead. So what we're going to do is just completely ignore the fact that the plates exist. We're just going to see some rocks falling, and we're going to either spin jump or ground pound, whatever you prefer. I prefer the ground pound because I'm in a fixed position for it. When you spin jump, it's a little bit harder. It is a little bit faster as well for the first hit. But yeah, I just find it a little bit more consistent to ground pound. So you do have to wait for a little bit to make sure you don't get hit while the boss is invincible on the respawn. And then that's the boss there. There are harder mini-bosses in this game, but not that one. Unfortunately, hitting the timer. That timer's going to save me a grand total of a few frames if I skip it. But it really isn't too much to be worried about. So finishing up World 3 here. World 4 is where the interesting routing comes in. So if we were on Wii U right now, not only would I have been sweating quite a lot from having one catsuit, but I would have also been doing a slightly different route. So I would have done 4-1, and then on 4-2, I'd grab the 3 green stars as normal, and then go in the warp pipe on the same playthrough. Go straight to World 5. Here is slightly different. We're going to need to play a few more levels, which is going to become apparent in World 8. If you're familiar with the Wii U World 8 Out of Bounds clip on the world map, that would essentially allow us to fall out of World 8 on the world map into World 7, go past World 7. I'm going to grab this extra catsuit here. Yeah, go past World 7, fall into World 4 on the island. So in this game, Mystery Houses and Captain Toad levels are... Okay, that's fine. We've got another catsuit coming up. Mystery Houses and Captain Toad levels are unlocked from the beginning. So you don't actually have to get to a specific level on the path to unlock them, because they're all off the path anyway. However, for this, we have to complete up to that stage on the path anyway to unlock the warp pipe to get to the island. But if you do the clip on Wii U, you skip having to do any of that. But here, it's not a thing unless you use a ridiculous strat with 3 controllers. So unfortunately, we're not going to be doing that. So, you know, I just grabbed the catsuit. Well, we're just going to get rid of it straight away because it saves an unreasonable amount of time here. Because on the next level, we do have a roulette block where I can potentially grab a catsuit. I wouldn't like to say definitely, because we've already seen a roulette block incident. We don't want another one, but it would be nice to get back up to 2 fairly quickly. So finishing off that level, again, not having catsuit, so we don't need to wait for the stamina there. and I'm going to change back to Luigi. Now, a lot of the time on 4-2, I will take damage at the beginning, so it's just my thing where I don't pop the catsuit until I get into the underground section. A lot of the time, the moment I say that, I take damage, so who knows? Maybe that will just happen right now. It's a pretty cool level for vectoring, though. You do build up your speed quite quickly here. Okay, we did it slowly, and that's why I didn't take damage. Not intentionally, but it just sort of happened. That's fine. So we'll pop it now, and then we'll come through here. Do this mystery box, go out of our way. I'm going to use the cursor a lot here just to get these piranha creepers back in their holes. And I'm going to grab the checkpoint here just to be safe. So I'll keep using gyro again. And then here, I'm going to try and avoid this stamp. Below is a water section, so it's much better than going down there. And then I'm going to try and time this. So as long as you do that, the moment you land, you grab the catsuit. It's really nice to be knowing that timing rather than what I used to do on Wii U, which was just eyeballing it, which is always the best strat. Unfortunately, losing one there. But to be fair, if I lost one and I didn't get one out of the roulette block, that would have been really bad. Okay, that's fine. We got a 6 on the timer. We'll get some fireworks, but that's okay. Really good level, actually. That's a gold split by several seconds. I was not expecting that, to be honest. Yeah. Okay, pretty good. Coming through, though, we are going to be playing those extra levels, as I mentioned. 4-A. This is a Boulder Blockade, so we're going to need to get rid of all 4 of these, finish off the level, and then another pretty interesting level coming up for any percent. Going to be trying to do some skips. And whenever I'm trying to do some skips, we're using Peach. So we will be doing that. There aren't many Peach levels for me in the run anymore. I used to use a lot of Peach, but Peach is the slowest character, even slower than Mario. So there's not really a reason to use her. And we'll grab that star there. So coming up is 4-4. This is the level I was talking about. This is Big Bounce Byway. And the Big Bounce it's referring to is a massive trampoline at the end. But we have decided that as speedrunners, we do not want to go out of our way and have fun on the funny trampoline. So we're just going to skip it. It will save a lot of time if I can. But it is going to require catsuit, so I'm going to try to do it first try. If I don't do it first try, obviously I don't have another one. So we'll see how it goes. But here, get a ground pound, get a massive bounce off of that one. Grab this green star, and then go through here. Avoid as many of these trampolines as I can. They are quite slow. So grab the checkpoint again, just in case it goes badly. And then here, as long as I'm on the right cycle, which I am, ground pound, get straight over there. Normally, in runs where I'd need to ride the trampoline, I would just go for it and hit that and then go in the mystery box, just so it started off the lift a little bit. But here, obviously, we're going to try and avoid it. There we go. And skipping the trampoline, saving a bunch of time by doing that. I'm going to get fireworks, so I'm just going to wait. Okay, that is apparently a thing that happened. That has never happened to me. Right, okay. So, I'm going to try my best to break that down. So, I stood on the base of the flagpole, which for some reason just doesn't get you on the flag sometimes. That's normal. What isn't normal is taking damage and then during the invincibility, not even moving the control stick to then get on the flagpole. Okay, I am convinced that is never going to happen to me ever again. It's fine because the next level after this is 4-2 anyway, so it's fine. It just means I'm not doing catsuit here. This is just a bunch of running anyway, but that is the most absurd thing that's ever happened to me in this game. There's no way anything else beats that. There's no possible way.
That's okay. The most advanced form of that's never happened before.
Yeah, I genuinely do not know what to say about that one, honestly. I was just in shock seeing that. Yeah, alright, we'll carry on. So, this is a 10-star mystery house, so this is why we kind of have to play it. Skipping this would mean we'd have to do a bunch of extra levels, so we might as well just do it while we're here. In fact, the the stars that the mystery houses and Captain Toad levels give us is what, 60, I think? 20 from Captain Toad and 30 from mystery houses, because they alternate between 5 and 10 for mystery houses. Captain Toad is always 5. A 10 green star Captain Toad would be quite funny though. That would be quite expensive. Considering even the base game only has 3. So yeah, finishing up that level there, it wasn't too costly. And then here we're going to do the classic world map warp back to 4-2. And the world map is always going to spawn us to the first level, so we're not going to have to go too far. So here we're going to use Luigi again, but we are just going to play the level as normal. No green stars, we've already done them all. So I'm going to try, and it doesn't really matter if I take damage. Obviously it does if I take damage again, because I'll die. But as long as I get to the roulette block isn't affected by whether I have a power-up or not. It's not like most question mark blocks in Mario. Plus the checkpoint's going to give me a power-up anyway. I'm just going to run through here. Hopefully we do grab this catsuit though. If not, I might die actually. In fact, yeah, I would have probably had to do that because doing this itemless is fairly difficult, and also it would have meant my next catsuit level is a few levels into World 5. Thankfully, we don't have to worry about that though. We're going into World 5 with our catsuit back. And we're exiting World 4 on 69 green stars. That is an important number because coming up, we need to have 80 for one of these levels. It's an incredibly fast level compared to doing 5-2. So I'm going to go out of my way, do some strange, weird routing here. We're going to start with World 5 Captain Toad. And it's going to involve a little bit more gyro. So this actually requires gyro. On Wii U, this would have been more like the gamepad. You would have actually had to touch the gamepad. And there was quite a funny thing where some people used their noses to touch the gamepad because you've only got 2 hands to hold the left stick and hold the sprint button. So you're already using both hands, not to mention the fact that you kind of need to hold the right stick as well. So I actually changed my grip on the controller for these. I use my index finger to hold the sprint button, which I don't do for any other levels. But to use gyro as well, you can't really do that. So yeah, you kind of have to touch your nose on the gamepad to do this optimally. Thankfully, we don't have to do any of that here. Although maybe that would be more entertaining. Maybe I should do Wii U and de-rust Wii U, which is far more punishing, just to do that strat, because I think that would be funny. Finishing that level there, though, we're going to move on to 1-CT. You might be thinking, right, okay, we've already done World 1. Why are we going back? And not to mention, why are we going back and spending like 10 extra seconds in the world map doing that? So normally on Wii U, we would have had enough green stars from doing the earlier levels. For example, we would have done levels in a different order. So you would actually have done the Captain Toad level like at the point where you actually reached this warp pipe on the world map, whereas here I'm having to go all the way down. It will be worth it though, as demonstrated when we get to the level. It's far too quick for its own good. So here, it's going to look a little bit strange, but I'm going to skip these first couple of green stars because it's faster to do them at the end. We're going to take an earlier cycle, hopefully, as long as I make it here. Looks like we are. There we go. I'm going to hold these enemies still, and they're pretty precise to hold still. You actually have to hold, like, dead center with them to hold them still there, but that's fine. They all hold still as long as you're holding one. And then that's the level. So, as mentioned, we're going to do the classic world map warp back to World 5. And as I did mention already, the world map warp will spawn us on the first level. That's why I did the Captain Toad level first, because when I do this map warp, it's going to put us on 5-1. Or I can just accidentally go back into the level. Okay, so I'm going to need to wait for the camera to spin around before I can quit out. We're not going to play it again. Unfortunately, the stars are grey now. We're not going to get extra green stars. So I'm going to have to exit. That is going to cost a little bit of time, but that's fine. So we'll go to 5-1. It would help if I actually pressed minus rather than A when I'm still on the level. Okay, that's not the one I wanted. World 5. There we go. Now we're in. So This is an interesting level if you can crouch boost. Sadly, I am not one of those people, but if you can crouch boost, you might even want to skip some stars here. So crouch boosting would allow you to not just speed up on this level, but get to that island all the way in the distance. That island is only unlockable normally if you collect these 5 keys. But if you do crouch boosting, you can just get over there without doing these keys. At the same time, you still would need some green stars, and the ones here are fairly quick, so you might even just do some green stars and not do the keys. It's pretty difficult though, that island is really far away. Let's grab that green star and then finish up. So I actually moved those charging chucks out of the way by doing that star first, because we're already going to go past that key anyway. So we might as well just make our life a bit easier. I'm going to skip green star too, because it's in that hole over there. That's another rainbow panel section. They're all just a little bit slow. So here, this is Plessy. We don't see much Plessy in any percent. I used to do optional Plessy because I used to lose time if I did the other level. That's going to come up in World 8. So this is the only Plessy we're going to get unless I've forgotten a level where we play Plessy. I don't think so. I think this is the only Plessy we actually have to do. So here, the stamp will feature. Again, stamps are going to give us a really long extra screen. And I should actually mention what stamps are used for in this game. So on Wii U, they were used for Miiverse, RIP Miiverse. But in this version, they did recycle them for snapshot mode. So you can kind of share them online. You can share them on the real social medias, like Twitter and Facebook. Yeah, they implemented them in a way. So yeah, it's cool they did implement them rather than just letting them sit there in a sticker book. Okay, so we're now on 81 green stars. So as I mentioned, we need 80 to unlock this extra level. And as if it wasn't long enough having to go all the way down, go into that warp pipe for World 1, we need to sit and watch the Bowser statue unlock. That's how much time this level saves compared to 5-2. 5-2 is not even that long, it's just a normal level, but this is not a normal level. We're going to use Toad here, and you can probably see in the preview those little lifts that require multiple characters. Now, this is the entire level, so I'm going to skip doing that just by holding the cursor there. I'm going to just fall down here, grab the extra star, and then go on the flagpole. That's it. 13 IGT. That's it. So 3 really quick green stars, and not just that, but we have to play either 5-2 or 5-3, so we might as well play the fast one. Straight through there, and then we're going to head on to another mini-boss. Then we get more catsuits, thankfully. So we're going to get back up to 2. This has probably been my riskiest marathon run with the number of catsuits I've been on. Somehow we've not been on 0 yet, which I feel like is... it's good to get it out of the way now, because if we're on 0 catsuits in like World 7, that's rough. But in these earlier levels, it's not as bad. So here, I'm going to try and hit all 5 of them. There we go. It's pretty difficult to do that. I'm not sure why the character just froze after grabbing the green star there. That was really weird. Why are we getting too many? That's never happened before. Okay, that one's not really as bad as the one before, but I don't know what's going on. So yeah, we finished that up. By doing the cat pounce there, you get a little area of effect, the little white circle that appears. That means you can hit all 5 of them, and not just that, it means they only have 1 HP instead of 2. So here, I only recently learned that Toad is actually better for me on this level. I used to use Luigi because I thought it would be better to do some vectoring, but it turns out just running with Toad saved me time, literally for free. Like, I've never practiced this level with Toad, and yet I saved like 3 seconds. Okay, I wasn't mashing there, so that's fine. We'll grab the other catsuit in a minute. So that was me being silly. There's no reason to take damage there, but if you mash, because I haven't spawned in the second set of fuzzies, normally there isn't an issue. I will just spawn it in quickly, save yourself a little bit of time. And then I'm going to hit this bunny that's glowing green. Very suspicious. Wonder what that could mean. So the others just give coins and stuff, so we ignore them. Use this massive cannon to go up to this island, and then get to the end here. I'm going to grab this star, and not to mention that I didn't want to take damage. It's much better than taking damage. There's not another catsuit for a while, so I do want to come out of here with 2, preferably. It's not over yet. We've got to grab these green coins, and I'm going to grab them using... I'm so glad I swiped there. Using the gyro. So green coins are going to feature a little bit more from now on. So that's the level. Okay, next up is 5-6, and if you like Super Mario Galaxy, you're going to be familiar with the flip panels. I realise I mentioned the rainbow panels earlier. I don't really know what to call the rainbow panels. The rainbow panels, I mean, technically they flip from black to rainbow, but these are technically flip panels, so I don't know what to call them. Anyway, this is the flip panel level. Because there's not a spin built into this game, at the base anyway, you activate them just by jumping, which is kind of weird to get used to. But yeah, it kind of works. Once you develop a rhythm of how to deal with these flip panel levels, it works a lot better. I'm going to hold that. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Talking of getting used to the flip panels, here's me trying to jump into the void from my own fault. Alright, so that's fine. There, just make sure I don't get hit by that. So I'm skipping Green Star 2, and not only is this introducing flip panels, this introduces a new Green Star type, so it's the Ball Star. You have to navigate a green ball that holds the Green Star from top to bottom in a pretty much a 2D plane that you can't control yourself. You have to jump using the character to change the flip panels, and if it reaches the bottom on the P-switch, then you get the Green Star. It's all very complicated, and it's just as slow as it sounds, so we're not going to do any of them in this run, unless I need a backup star, which there is one. So here, I'm going to try my best to skip some of these staircases. There we go. Already skipped 2 of them just by doing that, and here I'm going to grab the spring, not to jump on it, but just to grab a green star. And then, oh, unfortunately got stuck on that question mark block. That's fine. Normally I want to take this corner a bit wide so that I can actually keep my speed through there. You can't do a tight turn there, not really. Otherwise, you're just gonna get hit. Also, pet the bullet bill. Why not? Might as well do that. I mean, if I didn't have an oh my goodness, where am I going? The fact that that's my first death is funny, but whatever. Right, carry on. Anyway, let's try that again. So. Yeah, I mean, if I didn't have World Crown item list as my incentive, really, that should be it. Pet the bullet bill. Okay, so let's do this properly. Grab trampoline, climb up here, instantly press X. So if you just climb up, the moment you reach that hole, you're going to get kicked off of climbing because obviously there's nothing left to climb. So if you don't press X at all, you're just going to fall straight back down to the grey brick. And then if you do it again, you can only climb twice before landing, so you'll then just fall down really slowly. So instead, what you want to do is press X or Y to swipe in the air. I use X and A for Mario games. I don't know why, it's just what I've always done. So yeah, that's just the layout I prefer. But yeah, pressing X there makes you swipe and grab the green star, and also get in the box so you can reposition yourself. Here is conveniently a catsuit level, so we can grab a few more here. So there is that one there, but there's also another one coming up. Hopefully I won't need to grab it because it is going to make me go out of my way a little bit. Almost swiping my way off the stage, but that's okay. Right, so come through here, do a little cat swipe on the ground. And then here, I'm going to try to make the early cycle. So if I go around, just make sure I don't get hit by that. Very nice. Get this green star. Actually was quite early for the early cycle, so I had to wait a little bit. And then here, climb up this side. You do need a catsuit for this. However, if you're doing one of the silliest categories to ever exist, itemless 242 stars, which is basically all stars, no post game, which is 243 stars, but you get every star you possibly can without an item. And ironically, all this stuff that kind of forces the catsuit on you, the one star you can't grab in that run is because you can't use a fire flower to light up some candles. So everything you normally would need catsuit for, you can get around. So for example, that one, you can use 2 characters and bounce on the other one's head, do a wall jump, and then get in the box for the green star. That sounds like a silly one. There is an even sillier one. in World 4. It's a level we don't actually play in any percent, but basically you have to use 3 characters. One of them you bounce on Luigi's head to get a high bounce, and then you throw Peach, who has the Peach float, into this massive like sloped wall, onto the slope bit, and then grab the green star. It's pretty absurd, but that run's kind of long. But just for that strat alone, that's what sold that run to me. There's only like 3 or 4 people on the leaderboard. That strat sold it for me. That just was hilarious to me.
That multi-controller manipulation sounds really intense.
Yeah, it's kind of absurd. Honestly, I mean, maybe that's just another option for an incentive, really. Just play the funny levels in itemless 242 stars. Skip's actually having to do the 3-hour run of itemless 242 stars. But you get all the perks of the funny stars. The thing that makes that run more interesting for me, I think I'm the only person that did 242 stars before normal itemless any percent. Literally just because I found itemless just skipped all the hard stars, which makes sense. But having to do all of them in 242 is just a more interesting run to me. But it's definitely a weird one to watch, but it is fun to show off. Anyway, coming through here, there's a lot of clear pipes we're going to skip on this level. Hitting that hidden block by accident. There's another cloud box up there, so we're going to avoid that. And then here, I'm going to try and do clear pipe strats. So you can do this with any character, but I choose to use Luigi. Peach is quite nice because you got the float as well. And as long as you're on the right cycle, you will get there, unless you're really fast or really slow, you'll get there when there are no fuzzies. So even if you do fall in that box there, it's not the end of the world because you can just go the long way and not get hit. Saves risking getting hit, really. Going in those pipes is incredibly slow, but also you have to wait on a bunch of cycles because they don't line up perfectly. Finishing up there. And we're going to move on to 6-2, which, guess what? We're going to skip another green star. This one's pretty big, though. This is one of the larger time saves for skipping one of the green stars. And reason for that is we are skipping the entire shipwreck. So there is a green star on the outside, the first one, and the last one. But on the inside is a green star and a stamp. Oh, that was nice. Normally I'd bonk on the wall there. I had enough speed to think, you know what, I'll go for it. Pretty nice. Okay, anyway, here we can use the gyro to hit these bullies in. Makes this so much easier to deal with. And that warp box is not going to warp us to the other side here. It would warp us into the shipwreck. So we're going to avoid it. Grab this green star. And apparently, go at a strange angle. That's fine. We've still got another cat suit. It's good. It's all good. And the next level has another cat suit, so it's okay. Here, now I don't need to go out of my way. Okay, I was not holding a direction there. That was just the angle that I got launched at because I was on the edge of the platform. So these holes are really unforgiving. In fact, I'm going to play safe here. I'm going to get rid of these bricks first and then kill the bully because I'm not trusting myself at this point. If you fall in any of these holes, you can't climb up any of them. So those are actually just straight pits. You just can't get out of them. You just die. For some reason, all the things I'm explaining that are threats, I'm just dying in other ways. I seriously don't know what's going on in this run. But moving on, there's 6-4. So we're going to try and skip one of these platforms for quite a big time save. Okay, so this is a pretty fixed level. I use Peach here because using someone like Toad or Luigi, the only time save you would get is to do the ending pretty fast. So I'm going to try and use Peach here. I'm going to grab this first cat suit, which is not too bad. Grab that and then do that little cat dive and then cancel it before I land, just to make sure I don't end up losing my speed. So here, I'm going to get on the opposite side of the clear pipe so I can finish it earlier. I'm going to make sure the platform is actually there so I don't fall in the poison. Then climb back on the clear pipe, grab this checkpoint, and then I'm going to go up the top here, grab these green coins, and the speed at which I do these green coins is pretty important to whether I do this skip or not. So I'm going to be able to smoothly go through there. I kind of realized I was a few seconds ahead of where I like to be, so I just like to play safe there, make sure I don't get hit by the piranha creepers. So that is an early cycle. However, I don't say first cycle or earliest cycle, because top runs of this game do something ridiculous. They do crouch boosting. Of course, it's crouch boosting exclusive. But if you do crouch boosting there with Luigi, you can get ridiculous speed, go all the way around everything. Admittedly, you do have to skip some of the green stars, I'm fairly sure, because doing the green stars is halting your progress towards getting the quicker lift. But the lifts are about like 10, 15 or so seconds apart. I'm not exactly sure how much, but that basically means you need to save all of that time compared to what I just did, which is really hard. There are not many runs that do that. But at the top level, that's one of the only big time saves there is. So here we got Prince Bully. We just got to rolling long jump into him and then hit him out of whatever pipe he comes out of, which is any of them, really. And then grab this green star and finish up. So this next level is pretty much just a bunch of climbing. So I guess it's a good time for any messages that we might have.
Amazing. Well, as luck would have it, we have a $15 donation from Murmur, who says, I also relate to needing to finish Captain Toad. Let's see more of him. And with that, we are just $35 away from the World Crown itemless incentive. About how much longer would you say we have in the run before that wraps up?
We've probably got about, on my pace right now, 45 minutes, I would say. Right now, I'm looking at sub 140 pace, but I've only ever had one sub 140 run, so who knows?
All right, well, wishing you tremendous marathon luck, as it's been up and down across this run, and wishing everyone a very let's see that World Crown incentive.
Oh no. Okay, right, I'm gonna go around. I'm scared. Okay, so, talking of the ups and downs, so basically there, what I'm doing is the moment I enter that question mark box, I'm spinning the control stick, because the moment I come out, I will already be spinning with the character. So I will do an instant jump, and then if I don't mess it up, do a Odyssey dive into the box. It's fairly precise, especially because spin jumps, you're not in a fixed position. Admittedly, I could have ground pounded, which is in a fixed position, but at the same time, I prefer doing that with a spin jump. Maybe I should try with a ground pound. But because you can charge up the spin jump early, it's obviously better to go for the spin jump. Not if you go all the way around, but yeah, I just didn't fancy having to do a backup star if I missed it. So we're fine. We did grab it. The mystery boxes are really lenient. They're from 3D World, 3D Land, which was on 3DS. 3D Land was not as forgiving. So the timer would be pretty much the same thing, but it will be a 10-second timer. The moment it hits 0, you are kicked out of that box. Whereas in this game, it takes a second for it to even start ticking, and then it takes another second after it hits 0 for it to kick you out. So you basically have 12 seconds in the mystery boxes, which is nice, but at the same time, it's definitely a little bit more forgiving than 3D Land. Sorry, yeah, getting confused with my naming here. Either way, we can do a massive skip here with Fuzzy Time Mine, literally just called FTM or Fast Fuzzies to abbreviate the level. Here, though, I'm not going to do it. It's really difficult. Basically, you have to do all the movement I just did, but off screen. So here, I'm just going to do a little skip. I'm going to jump on this platform, which is what I just did, to skip the camera, and then go back down to grab the green star. If you do it for the first section, you have to do it so you climb on the right-hand side. There are also like 3 pillars that can instant kill you. And yeah, it's just not really worth going for, especially because we don't have any more catsuit levels until like 15 minutes time. So yeah, from now on is what I call Gauntlet. So having Fuzzy Time Mine be the first level of Gauntlet kind of justifies that name. But yeah, not doing the skip, it's pretty much just an auto-scroller. So 6-Mystery House is what I like to call the most broken level in the entire game. And it's not that it's janky or anything, but it's that I'm going to make it janky. So we have baseballs. I've already grabbed a green star using baseballs. Why don't we just do that for 5 green stars in a row? So if you were timing this with the in-game timer, I don't think these are ILs because of the way it works, but if you were, you could do this with like 1 IGT. They're unfortunately missing because the way this works, I kind of forgot I don't move on that one, it's fine. Yeah, so the way this works, I actually moved the cursor a little bit quickly there, so yeah, that's fine. Don't even need to use the ball on that one, just use the P-switch. Oh, power block even. Yeah, so just using touch controls a bunch. But as I had mentioned earlier, if you hold the cursor over a bunch of void, which is what that first green star is, it just loses whatever it's holding or the cursor just disappears. So yeah, it's important to not do that. So I kind of do that slower sometimes. If you've got a little bit of interference as well with the cursor, then that is probably the main place where it affects it. Normally I'd want to just throw a green star down there. A ball down at the green star. But yeah, why do that when you can just use the cursor? So here is another pretty big auto scroller. This one I do kind of need to focus a little bit for though. So all of these Fire Bros and Hammer Bros, they are fixed. They do appear at the same time every time you play this level, but that doesn't mean it's not killed my runs several times. So again, it's not the fact that the level's scary, it's the fact that the prospect of going into World 7 with a single cat suit if you take damage here, that's the scary bit. Hopefully that doesn't happen though. We're going to grab that green star. And the way this works is if I go too high above the camera, the game will just say no. And it's going to throw me in a direction that I don't want to be moving in necessarily. So here the Fire Bro is going to go to that platform. We're just going to claw it, that's fine. So we're going to see it in a little bit, but basically I'm going to grab this green star out of the grey box, hopefully. Which I have not got rid of, so I'm going to need to grab another one. That's fine. Just making sure I don't get snapped back on my controller. That will be pretty bad. We're going to skip not as much of this, but that's okay. So normally what we'd see at that point is... Hold on, I'm just going to try and get rid of this last Fire Bro. Yeah, there we go, we're done. So at the end here, I'm going to try my best to do a similar thing to what I did on the World 2 castle and try to get to the end, skipping that camera a little bit. But with this one, there are no boundaries. On the tank level in 2- Castle, the boundaries are there which stop you falling off the level. There are no boundaries here. You can fall off the side. You can fall down a pit. You can do whatever. And the best part is if you fall, you've got to do the entire level again. So yeah, it's a run killer, but it's also like the easiest level in the game. So yeah, here, similar thing to earlier, boom, boom. We're going to swipe him on the last one. Saves about a second. And then on the first two, we're going to hit him on the head. So coming through here as normal, get low on the flagpole, save time. Going to save a little bit less time than normal because obviously having to deal with that extra bob-omb throw. And the cursor actually did disappear the moment I was trying to move it, because a lot of the time when I'm pressing the cursor randomly on random places for no reason, it's to keep the cursor active. If the cursor's not been used for a certain amount of time, even if you've recalibrated it using L, that doesn't count as keeping it active. So what you have to do is actually press R to actually use the cursor and keep it on the screen. Not a lot of the time I'm using it on every level, but I still just like it to be there. So this is another random UFO flying down to ruin our day. This is Motley, who will actually ruin our day. Histocrat is easier. Motley's difficult if you don't know what you're doing, but once you know the strat, it's a lot less intimidating. Well, apparently the candle's intimidating because I'm bonking on the candle, sure. So here, what we're going to do on the boss is he's going to do a set number of jumps, and I'm going to suspiciously run around the edge. So that's going to become a bit more apparent in a minute. Basically, every time Motley will split into a bunch of blobs and the real Motley will always go towards the center. So not only am I dodging him by slowly walking around the edge, I'm also grabbing some cherries just for some safety, because if I take damage with any of these, I will only actually lose the catsuit if all of them take damage. If I take damage with the clone, then the clone just disappears, so that's fine. So yeah, Motley always going towards the center, that's fine. I will just recenter these, grab that green star, and then get in the pipe. I lose a couple of seconds for using those clones, but if I don't use those clones, I did just say, you know what, I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to not use those clones. And then I took damage, like, at the first point on Motley. So that's the point where I said, no, I'm not doing that anymore. So, yeah, just like to play it safe a little bit there. Especially considering I would prefer to go into this world with 2 catsuits. So, World 7. The culprit in question for being very mean with the catsuits. Obviously, I mentioned earlier, World 3 only has 1 catsuit level, which we don't play in any percent. That's not World 3's fault, you know? It's not World 3's fault that the catsuits are locked behind a 2-minute auto-scroller. But here, this world has a grand total of 1 catsuit box. Not even just the catsuit level where we can grab 2 catsuits. 1 catsuit box. And that's in 7-5. And not to mention, we also kind of want to go into 7-Castle with a catsuit. Otherwise, I'll need to do some interesting wall jumping and stuff with Peach. Or do some diagonal wall jumps, which I am not good at. Ironically, as an itemless runner sometimes. I should really get better at those because they do make itemless a lot easier. So yeah, green ball star getting skipped as green star 2. And then here, you can actually skip this pipe if you use crouch boosting. It's worth it. For me, it's not really. So I'm just going to do that. And then you can actually skip killing that fire bro there. It saves 1 second if you just jump to this end island. But we're not going to do that. Thankfully, with this flagpole, I mean, technically all of them, once you get on the flagpole, you are invincible. So if you get hit by a fireball there, you don't. It just disappears. But yeah, it would have been nice to get on the flagpole and then have those springs come at me earlier in the run. But yeah, it's whatever. I've forgiven them. Yeah. Anyway, this is 7-3. 7-3 is really mean. Out of all the levels here, this is the one that is really frustrating if it goes wrong. I did 1 practice run the other day and I took damage, and not for a very fair reason. I'm just going to let the level show itself up. And if it doesn't actually do it, then I'll explain it after the level. So I'm going to use the cursor to freeze these spike bars for a little bit. And really the only optimization, apart from just running straight forward, is grabbing these green coins fast. Which I grabbed 3 out of the 4 I plan on getting. That's fine. We're going in the pit, apparently. That's fine. That is not an optimization. So yeah, here I'm just going to try and focus, skip that stamp. Yeah, there's the input the input dropped. Okay. When will I ever play this level without it dropping an input? So I took damage there from it dropping one of my inputs. I'm going to get... Yeah, I waited a little bit there. Just stood still to avoid those fireworks. So the boost pads, paired with the fact that they're on different elevations, I'm fairly sure is the reason why that level just doesn't work. Yeah, you just take damage. Sometimes you don't get any inputs dropped. I would say about 40% of my runs get a dropped input, and some of them get 2 or 3. But depending on where the input gets dropped, like if you get it dropped where the green coins are, it doesn't really matter. But if you're dropping it there, then yeah, it's pretty bad. And not to mention now I'm on slightly different cycles because I had to pop that catsuit rather than getting straight into the level. So it's not ideal coming into here, but it's fine. So grabbing those green coins, and I'm going to try my best to land on this platform. We're going to grab this stamp, unfortunately, but that's fine. Better than dying, which is also what I did in my practice run, straight after 7-3, which was yeah, that was an experience. So anyway, grab this checkpoint, and we're going to charge up some momentum here. Because we're using Luigi, get quite a high jump there. Skip having to actually climb at all. And yeah, thought I might get hit there, so I'll just do a little extra movement. And then here, as long as I do it properly, we're not going to spawn in the extra platform by killing those bullies. We're just going to skip it. And then that's the level done. Pretty nice, actually, considering I had to pop that cat suit. We are getting fireworks, but that's really the only bad thing about that level. Yeah, pretty nice. So there is a way of skipping grabbing that stamp, and it is to hit the perimeter of that tiny little platform. However, that is exactly what I did in my practice run. And in my practice run, I ended up just barely missing and, yeah, falling into the lava. Not advisable, but that's how that went. So I'd rather just play safe and lose a few seconds for the stamp screen. So this is slightly RNG based. We're going to use Toad here. We're going to hope that the Brolder boss, make me say words, is not going to hit these Brolders. If it hits the Brolder, which it is, or it's not, I actually thought I was going to hit it there. That's fine. Okay, as long as I don't get hit now, we get a 1 cycle. There we go. So that's a 1 cycle, saving me apparently 11 seconds on my PB. So that's quite nice to get. And then coming up 7-5. All right, so 7-5. Thankfully, because we have a cat suit, we can actually skip a little bit at the beginning where we would normally have to go round, go wait for some thwomps to rise and stuff like that. Of course, I've got a cat suit, so I could just climb instead. We're going to use Toad here, and I will play a little safe because, not just because it's a marathon, but just because it's a really mean escape sequence in a minute. So we're going to grab that extra cat suit. We're going to skip this stamp. As long as I hug the wall, we don't grab it. Going to kill these 3 Kamex and then grab this green star. And then we're going to use this lift. Well, actually, we're not going to use the lift. We're just going to long jump down. And then go as far along as I can. And then here, I'm going to use this early cycle to my advantage. I'm going to grab that key. I've already skipped one, but that's fine. That is intentional. I do like to skip a key. Not only does it mean you... Okay, I'm actually too early to hit that enemy. So I'm just going to have to avoid it in a moment. That's fine. I've killed all the others, so that's good. So by hitting that last key, the escape sequence starts. But if you hit one of the earlier keys last, the camera pans slightly less. I'm talking frames time save. But I actually kind of just prefer to not grab the last key last. Just because it means that if you grab the last key as the the final key, the escape sequence starts as soon as the camera then pans up. It's just kind of... I don't like it doing that. Either way, nice completion, and we're moving on to Captain Toad. This is one of the heavier gyro Captain Toad levels. We are dealing with a bunch of thwomp cycles. So what we want here is to make sure we can ride the thwomps, because Captain Toad, he can't jump. There is no jump. Instead of jump, you have a thing where you can dig things out of the ground, which, fun fact, there are a grand total of 0 things you can dig out of the ground in this game. I don't know why they implemented it. It's used a bunch of times in actual Captain Toad, yet here it's just, yeah, we're going to implement this thing and we're just not going to use it. Sure, okay. So, yeah, that's the thing. So I'm going to freeze some of these thwomps. I didn't actually mean to freeze that one, but it's fine. I'm going to freeze this one when it gets on the ground. There we go. I'm then going to freeze that one while it's fully risen. They can only be either fully risen or fully grounded. If they have even slightly gone up a little bit, like that, I tried to keep my sprint going there. That's my fault, really. If they're even slightly risen, or slightly, yeah, wherever you don't want them to be fully, you can't get on them. So, trying to keep my speed going there, unfortunately didn't work, and it's cost me a few seconds, but that's okay. Moving on to 7-7, this is a pretty interesting level coming up for platforming, and so all the interesting levels use Peach, so that's what I'll be doing. We're going to use this warp pipe. I'm fairly sure it's minimal, the difference between this and the world map warp. So this one has a bunch of falling platforms that go into the lava. All the ones that are green and blue, they're going to stay over the lava at all times. But these grey ones that are a little bit dark, they fall in. So here, what I'm going to try and do, I'm going to grab this green star on the way past. I'm then going to fall on this grey platform. If we were slower there for whatever reason, I can just get straight onto the green platform without even using the grey one. Getting these enemies, again, recycled from Mario Galaxy. These are instant kills. So there is a little clear pipe skip I can do at the end, which saves a few seconds. I'm not going to go for it, purely because it would require me jumping right on the corner. And if you hit that trigger, which there is a massive area in the lava where if you hit that trigger, it will still go off. It's very hard to hit that trigger and still avoid the enemy. So if you avoid the trigger, you are jumping a massive gap with Peach. Obviously, Peach has the float, so it's kind of nice. But you kind of also have to make sure you're not jumping into one of the other ones. If you do it, it's just too much bother to justify. So that's okay. We're coming through with 2 catsuits on 7-Castle. But wait, there's a Stargate we've got to unlock. But thankfully, it's not really a massive pain here because we're already collecting green stars. We got 9 more than we need. So this level, unfortunately, we're going to have to actually get rid of one of our catsuits. I'm going to change to Toad. And the reason for that is because we need to be able to wall jump. Ironically, you can't wall jump with a catsuit. You can do basically everything else, but you can't wall jump. So we're going to need it for this. And not just that, we're also going to need a boomerang for the next star. So you might be thinking, you mentioned 242 items earlier. So how do you grab this star without a boomerang? Well, that was close. The way we do it is dying. You literally just jump into the star, and because on the Switch version, you preserve stars that you've kept after dying, you are able to die intentionally, grab the star while you jump to your death, and then keep it when you respawn at the checkpoint, which is like right next to it. So yeah, not too bad to do that. Obviously, it's better just to use the boomerang. But that does mean technically it's possible. But if it was a category on Wii U, which it isn't, it would be 241 itemless rather than 242. So here, this is a boss that we would have seen in World 1, but we have skipped it because we didn't play the rest of World 1. We just stopped at 1-2. So what I want to do is use the gyro to hit the balls back into Bowser's face. If you hit the balls using your character, you're probably going to hit the car. And if you hit the car with the balls, you need 3 hits before points appear. That means you need 9 hits, technically, where he sort of goes backwards to finish off the level. Whereas if you hit him in the face, you get points every time. So it's a classic 3-hit boss fight. And it's even more hits if you're using something like a boomerang or fireballs to kill him. Okay, so coming through, we're on World 8. I am still on sub 140 pace, so nice. Yeah, pretty cool. I'm on pretty good PB pace, so that's quite nice. We do have an unskippable cutscene here though, so that's, I don't know, 30 seconds. Any messages would be nice to have here.
Absolutely. Well, we got another $5 donation from Brassbeat, who says simply table tennis. And with that, we are in the home stretch for this World Crown itemless incentive. Only have about $30 to go on that and 1 world remaining. So wishing you a good PB pace and hoping we can make those 2 things meet harmoniously at the end of this run.
All I can say is, damn it, Brass. I was having fun, and you had to mention table tennis. Alright, yeah, so that shout outs to WePlay. I gotta give a shout out to WePlay now. So I was speedrunning that to practice for this run. Well, practice. I already done my practice for this, so I just wanted to do something else, and yeah, I got stuck on table tennis for like 10 minutes and gave up. Yeah. Thankfully, this is going a lot better. I'm glad I didn't use up my luck on WePlay today because we are doing very well in this run so far. We're going to grab this catsuit again, and who knows, maybe we'll even hit that incentive and we'll need to keep a little bit of luck for the end. It's been a little while since I've practiced that incentive, but yeah, it's quite a nice one to show off. Doing those levels itemless is not something we'd normally see, because in 242 itemless, they are levels that are post-game, and 242 is an all-stars no post-game. So we actually don't see those levels at all. In fact, it's technically not a run, because you do have to use an item for 1 star. So it technically isn't a run on the leaderboards as an itemless run. It's World Crown itemless asterisk. We're basically there. We get off on a technicality, it's fine. We finish this level, we're skipping a green star. It's a mystery box. So it's actually quite a quick star we skip there. Quite a nice backup if we did need it, but it means you have to climb up the tower to get to it. So that kind of makes it a little slow. And then next up we have a crossroads. Normally I would have played Plessy, especially on Wii U, because Plessy wasn't that slow on Wii U. Whereas here, 8-3, yeah, we might as well just play this level. I'm going to use Toad, and yeah, I'm only going to get 2 green stars here as well. We're going to skip one of them, which is all good, because a lot of the time if I'm doing a longer run where I need all 3 stars, I will accidentally forget that the last one exists because of the way it's positioned. I mean, I'm not going to judge myself for that one, you know. It's an easy one to miss. You just grab the flagpole, you're speeding through the level. The 3rd green star is basically on its own little island in the distance. Okay, we're falling apparently. We are invincible when we fall, so thankfully we did just sort of crush the piranha plant when we fell. So that's fine. I am not going in there. That is a stamp. Let's go in the other one. So we'll go over here, get in this mystery box, and then here, making sure I don't use the cursor on this little spinning platform, otherwise we're going to freeze it. Now I'll use it. So get back out of this clear pipe, and we are going to hopefully finish off the rest of this level. I'm going to skip the clear pipe here, though, and it's a little bit of a strange one to skip. So there, I did a slight little fall, and here we're just going to get to the end. There we go, very nice. That island in the distance, that's where the other green star is. So on the clear pipe, there are 2 parts to a green pipe. There is the launcher, and there is just the base of it. So the launcher is at a slightly higher, or slightly taller height than the base. So I kind of did a little fall there, so I took a little bit longer to charge up my sprint speed. Also, it's kind of like you're in the air during that fall, so it kind of throws you off a little bit. It's really not for very long, but clear pipes are so small that you can get thrown off by it a little bit. So that's why I kind of like to just go in a straight line until we get to the longer part of the clear pipe that is literally just a dead straight line. Here we're going to be using a question mark block just to give myself a little bit of safety, or a coin block. Whereas, I mean, the rest of this level, really, we can just run around the edge and avoid all the enemies. But it's nice to have a little bit of safety, right? So here, grab this question mark block. And this is another thing carried over from other Mario games. You grab this, you get coins from it. New Super Mario Bros. 2, I'm tempted to say. It's got to be Mario Bros. 2. That game is known for coins. It's got to be Mario Bros. 2. New Super Mario Bros. 2. There is a distinction. Yeah. So here, okay, I've now thrown off the spiked bars, which was a very smart thing to do. Yeah, that was not good. It's fine. We had our trusty coin block to take the hit. It's okay. So here we got these mini Goombas, which if we're on the Wii U, we can actually blow away using the microphone, but here we can't do that.
Amazing.
Yeah, not having a microphone on Switch is a bit sad. That's the one thing that's better on Wii U. There are levels that actually had microphone lifts. In this game, they're all replaced by yellow lifts. Thankfully, we are getting that early cycle this time. For that early hit. But yeah, in this game, such as 1-Captain Toad actually had it. That's one of them. And also, I think 2-2, that's one of the levels we don't play in this run. But in 2-2, big emphasis on the wind platforms that you use with the microphone. They're all just yellow lifts in this game. But yeah, something I didn't mention on the other Pom-Pom boss fight is literally the exact same between both. And also the other one that appears in post-game. if you were on Wii U, you would have seen a slightly lower smoke trail for cycles 2 and 3. And obviously for cycle 1, you can just get an early hit, so it doesn't really matter too much. That would differentiate between the real and the fake pom-pom. In this game, I'm told there's a coloured particle that's slightly different to the other colours. I genuinely don't know. Whenever I look at the particles, I just think, that looks different to the others, I'll just go for that one. And I've hit it like 2 times out of like 5 in this run. So yeah, tried and tested, my way doesn't really work. But if it does work, then it saves a little bit of time. So this level, all the platforms are there, you just can't see them. So I am uncovering them. Oh my goodness. Okay. Using the gyro. There I actually hit the edge of the little spike bar cylinder there. If you hit the edge of them, they don't hit you. You only get hit if you hit the actual spiked bit, which is, to be fair, most of the spike bar, but... Oh, I didn't want to do that. Right, let's unfreeze the thwomp as well, so I don't actually get stuck in there. Okay, cool. I almost bonked on the wall. If I bonked on the wall there, I would have missed that star, and I would have actually needed to do an extra level, because I do not have any extra backup stars from here. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. We're all fine.
Just a good nerves check right at the end here.
8-4. What can I say? It's 8-4. Alright. It's so ironic. All the rest of the places I can take damage in that, or literally just die, or fall off, or do the little cat scratch, the thing that's exclusive to this game on the ground. Normally that's how I die on that level. On Green Star 1, on that little platform, where I'm doing it just barely, just like really too close to the edge. I'm using Peach here. Yeah, doing it like too close to the edge, you'd have to like jump straight away. But if you grab the star at the same time, sometimes if you grab a star, whenever you grab a star, this happens every time, to be fair. But if you do it at an unfortunate timing, it will actually give you like some lag frames. Not many to notice, but yeah, basically, if you try and jump or do something as soon as you grab a star or a stamp, specifically one that you haven't already grabbed, if you're practicing on an existing file that has grey stars and stamps that you've already grabbed, those lag frames don't appear. But yeah, it's pretty situational. It doesn't happen a lot, but it's kind of awkward to deal with. Here, I actually need the light box to stay with me, otherwise I'm just going to be chilling with booze for 11 seconds. I mean, there are worse fates, but I would like to grab the green star for this run. So here, I can just jump. There's no platform there. I can just jump. And then here, I'm going to try and focus and do a little skip. Or I'll just die. It's fine. I'll just die. Right, we're not going to do it. So I've only got one cat suit. Oh, never mind. I don't want to do that. So we'll grab another light box. That's fine. So we're going to lose a little bit of time on this run. That's okay. I think I might still be on PB pace, which is funny.
I believe
all the stuff that's happened, and somehow I'm still on PB pace. I don't know how this is happening. So what I would have done there, if I didn't set it up absolutely dreadfully, is do a few cat scratches, grab the wall. I was actually trying to grab an earlier candle because I set it up so badly, and I still failed it. But basically, you can climb on these candles. I can light it up using the cursor, which is me just turning this into PowerPoint. But either way, yeah, using these candles, you can climb on them, and they're a really, really small platform, but it does work to jump on them. However, they don't work perfectly as platforms. Essentially, they are slopes that let you jump. Like, they're very slightly sloped, so you can jump on them, but like barely, and you're gonna fall off like straight away. The good thing about using Peach is that if you don't get a jump in, you have that Peach float, which is going to mean a little bit more safety. That's fine. Finishing up the level. We're slightly behind, unfortunately, but yeah, who knows? Maybe we can clutch out a PV on the other levels. So yeah, it saves a lot of time. I've only just been implementing it into my runs. I've only ever PB'd with it like once. So, to be fair, I've not hit it many times in runs, but it's fine. It's definitely worth going for. It skips doing that entire lift. And dying there obviously doesn't help as well. Having to do the entire rest of it where the checkpoint is. So here, this does give us 2 catsuits. That's the only consolation we get from that. So this is Mystery House Claw Climb. Ironically, another level where we can do everything without catsuits if we so wanted. These are some of the stars that would feature, but slightly harder versions, should we reach that incentive later on. In fact, there are 30 stars in that Mystery House, and if you fail a single star in a Mystery House, you have to do it all again. So
that sounds intense.
Yeah, it is pretty scary. So far, I've never gone overestimate in any of my practice with it, even though I've had some runs where I've failed Champions Road a couple of times and failed Mystery House Marathon a couple of times and still finished under my estimate for it. But it really does depend. It depends how late I fail. Obviously, there are some really hard stars like halfway through, and then you've got to go and do the easy ones again. Thankfully, we do have a cat here.
Well, actually, to that end, I am delighted to report that we just had a very generous $30 donation come in from -5 below. So you get to go ahead and do that World Crown itemless incentive.
Oh, wait.
Seeing that after the run. Thank you so much.
Thanks for the donation. Very, very nice hitting that. Hitting that entirely during this run, so thanks for that. We will be seeing it very soon as well. 8-7 we have coming up. Actually kind of an interesting level. We're going to do the world map warp here because even though we're quite late into the world, we would have to go all the way over to that green pipe. So it is worth doing here. But we literally have 1 main level, 2 mini bosses, and Meowser. So really late into the run. But yeah, thanks everyone for hitting that. That is now 50 trees we're going to get planted because of World Crown Itemless. So it will definitely be worth it. So here, I'm actually going to grab Tanuki in a moment. I used to use Peach on this level, but instead I'm going to use Toad here. I'm going to do a little bit of a risky thing by doing this one where stood in the ground like it's a cartoon in midair, just not falling for whatever reason. And then I'm going to grab this Tanuki suit. So this Tanuki suit is going to be the key to skipping the entirety of Grumblump 3. There are 4 Grumblumps in this level. We're going to skip the 3rd one, hopefully. I'm going to start... Yep, there we go. Was a little slow on it, but that's fine. We are going a little bit lower than I like, but we are still comfortably making it. So using Tanuki, you can just glide down, and then you just make it there. That skips quite a lot. There is only that one Tanuki box there, and then if we were to fail that, the next one is obviously that one. So it's kind of hard. The problem now is that I then need to survive the entire rest of the level as Toad. And this platform is not forgiving. You can fall off this platform really easily. Good thing is, with using Peach, is that you can still do some decent skips in this level. You can't really do... Oh, no. Okay, well, now I don't have to float, and I don't really want to use my catsuit, so we're just going to be running. Well, not running, but just walking. Yeah, just doing it sort of with my system. We should be okay. And then just fall down. Here. Yeah, okay. All fine.
No
all good. just casually using the extra options in this game. Extra movement options. We're all good. Yeah, so Peach Float, as you can tell, makes that a little bit nicer. It still doesn't make it great because the moment you fall, especially if you fall like backwards, you would have to get straight back to the platform. Like, it's really hard to make your way back. So yeah, thankfully we're alive. Yeah, it's totally fine. Totally okay. Yeah, we might not be PB pace, but we are still sub 140 pace as long as Meowser goes okay. There is a little camera skip we have to do to get that sub 140 though, but that would be my 2nd ever, which would be pretty impressive.
All right, let's get some hype for that.
Okay, so this is Motley, and Motley's been made a little bit harder. In fact, out of the 3 Motleys there is a post-game one where there are cherry... It's basically Cherry Motley, we like to call him, because he is the same colour as the double cherries, and also has pink rings that go way faster. The thing is, pink rings, when you're doing this silly strat where you're just going round, they are so much more useless because by the time they even get to you, you've already gone past. Like you're barely outrunning them basically. If you're not outrunning them, you're gonna get hit by the Motley anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, that's optimal. Just losing all the clones. I will take that. That's fine. Yeah, really, Cherry's a lot easier when you know this strat of going around the outside and then hitting him in the middle, because by the time he even splits into Blobs and Motley, the rings are already gone anyway. Whereas the gold ones, as you could see there's like 3 that are in my way. You could technically do it a different way where you're sort of running around the boss instead, but at the same time, I don't know whether it is slower. I don't know, maybe it's faster. I don't even know this really, but whether it's faster, it definitely seems faster to let the boss jump less distance each time. But I think the boss jumps faster if you're running. So I don't know, maybe that's just placebo, I don't know. So if I did want a catsuit here, in the question mark block that was on the right hand side we didn't grab before, there is a coin. However, in that hidden block I just uncovered, there would have been a catsuit. I still don't really need it because there's catsuits on the next level anyway. It's literally just a reskin of the World 3 Meowser, Histocrat. So we're just going to do the same thing, either spin, jump, or ground pound, hit the back of the boss. Making sure I do it a little bit late, just so I don't get hit. And that is the boss. Okay, so finishing up as normal with this flagpole ending. So we have Meowser. Meowser's quite a long level. You might be thinking, wow, we're barely on sub 140 pace. This is like a 5-minute level. Yeah, it's a 5-minute level. There's a minute actually where it's just a cutscene at the end, to be fair. But we're coming on to this now. Yeah, it's like barely possible for it to PB, I think. But yeah, we'll try. I would need a gold
energy.
Split. I would need a gold split. I would need to play like incredibly well to like squeeze out a 1 second PB. But I will take it. I will take it. I've not been grinding any percent as much recently, so would be surprising, but we'll see what can happen. We got our 170. To be honest, after all the stuff that's happened in this run, I'm just glad we got our 170 stars. The amount of things that have never happened in this run to me. Yeah, it's fine. So we're using Luigi. We're going to get this lift all the way over here. Very long distance. We're not going to crouch boost our way over there or anything. Okay, so here, we don't need any stars because obviously we've already got the gate unlocked. We've got our 170. So here, I'm going to just ride this lift and then climb up this way. There we go. And then there's actually a skip you can do here with crouch boosting, I believe. Some people used to use on Wii U, Tanuki. You can do it different ways, but yeah, on this version, I'm fairly sure it's like crouch boosting and stuff, which is, again, a strat that I'm not doing because it's precise, fairly frame precise. Not to mention, they made it harder in this game because I'm not sure if there are more death planes. I can't remember off the top of my head because I don't do the skip. But also, you can skip the transformation phase from Bowser into Meowser. So that in itself makes this save like a minute less than it did on Wii U. I think it might be a little bit less than that, but still. If you go for the trick, it does save a lot of time, but not really enough for me to justify it. Also, it skips the music, and really, how can I justify skipping the music? Like, we can't do a run and skip the music. It's a Mario game. So here, we actually can't skip any of this. We gotta wait until the end. But in a moment, I'm gonna try to skip the entirety of the cloud climb section. So here, the reason why we can't skip it, we could technically climb up, as we will in the next bit, but there's an invisible wall stopping us from going any further ahead until the camera reaches a certain point. So now we can go hit this power block and finish him off. But it's not over. Of course it's not over. We got a timer, which we're going to ignore. And he's going to use double cherries, spoiler, sorry, to transform into not just one Meowser, but lots of Meowsers. It's going to be interesting. See whether we can do this or not. I'm going to grab the checkpoint just in case things go wrong. I'm going to need to focus though. So I am climbing on the left-hand side right now. I'm not sure where I'm at. Okay, I think I've regathered myself. Okay, we did some of it. Wow, I was very close on the left-hand side. I was like on the cusp of that cloud. Okay,
Nice.
We still did it. We didn't do all of it, so I don't think I'm PVing, but it's like within a few seconds, so I'm more than happy with this run. Timing's not going to end here, though. It is going to end on the flagpole, and we do have quite a fixed amount of time before we get there. We got this inconspicuous power block, which we're not going to need to hit 3 times. No, we're going to need to hit it 4 times, and then we're done. We're not done yet. We got the flagpole. We're going to end it on the score appearing, and actually, it's kind of a interesting timing mechanic, because if you don't have catsuit, obviously timing in straight away. If you have to climb up the flagpole, you then need to wait for the stamina to go. But in a way, that kind of makes it better for us to get gold flagpole, because that means you don't need to worry about the stamina. The score just appears. So timing, if I do it correctly, is going to end on me getting gold flagpole. And gold flagpole we don't actually need in this run. If we were doing longer runs, we'd need gold flagpoles to unlock post-game. But here, we're just going to ignore that stamp. I'm going to try and get as high up here as possible. And 3, 2, 1, time!
GG. What
Thank
did we
you.
PB?
12.3 away, but you know what? There was so much that went wrong in that run. Like, my PB has 1 death in 3-Dash Castle, and we did not die there today. So, yeah, I'll take it. That was really good. I only fell behind in 8-6, so really it was just candle strats that cost it. But yeah, sub 140. I mean, that's my second ever. A lot of people like to go for 140 as their big thing in this game. So yeah, nice.
Yep, and looking at the stream delay a little bit, it's showing up as 139.52 on our RTA timer. So
nice.
By all accounts, congratulations. But we are not done with Super Mario 3D World. I'm assuming you're just gonna set right up for the World Crown.
I am indeed, yeah. Thankfully, we can skip the credits in this game as well. So
Amazing.
We don't have to sit through all of them. We can just go straight through. No, let's not do new game. We're not doing it again. We're going to go on we're going to do it in existing save file. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bin all my existing catsuits, should I have any. I do have 1, so I will get rid of that. So what I'm going to do, there are 3 levels while I do this. There are Captain Toad, which we do not have items for anyway. And we then have Mystery House Marathon, which is 30 green stars in a row. And then we have Champions Road, of course. Let's not reload. Right, let's exit the course so we keep that as no items. So there's an estimate of 15 minutes for this. So,
great,
yeah.
Thank you.
Get ready. Okay, so I'll head over to here. So I'll give a countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so 12-CT. This is World 12 in this game, World Crown. There's 3 other post-game worlds in this game, which we don't see. They're mostly rematch levels where the level's just been made a little bit harder. But there are some original runs in there, especially World Star. World Star's brutal because you have 1 catsuit there. Wow, I actually missed the cycle. You know what? We're going to retry. I did actually retry once to get a better cycle, and then I just decided, no, I don't want the better cycle. I'm just not going to get on the platform. So, yeah, get on the platform, and you save a little bit of time. I'm going to try to skip 2 cycles here. So some of these platforms fall into the lava. I'm going to try to get onto this platform that's going to rise all the way to the top. Now, I don't need to grab stamps. I'm just going to do it anyway. Why not? Make it more of a 100% run. So here, I'm now going to need to get this green star here, and then grab this one, and then get on this platform. and then this last one here. Okay, I did not get the other green star. So that's fine. We'll go the opposite way and grab the last one. So I did have a feeling I didn't grab it. It's the one in there. Yeah, there it is. It's fine. Oh, no, don't do that. We can't go opposite way this one. Right, okay. I'm going to need to go back that way. So normally, it gives me a little bit of time to explain what I need to do normally on this level. So normally, you would have to go round and you'd have to go this way and then get onto this platform, get onto those falling blocks, and then kill this fire piranha plant. I actually killed the fire piranha plant early by using gyro. That's quite funny you can do that. You can poke the fireball back in his face and it just kills him. The intended way to kill him is to get on the platform where I grabbed the stamp and then fall on his head, where the hole is conveniently placed. But yeah, here we are able to just use gyro. I'm actually going to do the mystery house first, because if I walk to World Crown in the world menu, that will actually just walk me straight to Champions Road, so I can just do that. So here, this is the brutal bit. 30 green stars in a row without failing. We're going to see how we fare. Not just that, but there are not many power-ups we can grab here. So, yeah, we'll see how we do. I would say there are 4 green stars that are the main difficult ones, and they're all placed in a row. This, unfortunately, is why this is World Crown itemless asterisk. I can't possibly do this without grabbing Fire Flower, but thankfully, I can just lose it straight away to one of the peepers. And then we'll grab that green star. If you are paying very close attention, you'll notice that I'm getting into these boxes, or the boxes are spawning, very slightly quicker than in the main game. And the reason for that is because I've already done these stars, because they're grey, because they're on they're on an existing save file. So here we're just going to hit that one, do that ground pound, hit that star. Then here we're going to do the star that is our nemesis. We're just with an extra thwomp. I mean, thankfully we're not having to deal with him, but yeah, that's fine. Here we're doing a lot of ice momentum. And then this is the first one where we're going to be intending to grab a cat suit, which is right there. Of course we can't, because I've banned it. And not only that, but I'm using Luigi. And there's a reason I'm using Luigi. Literally just for that star, pretty much. The others it helps as well, but basically he jumps higher. It means we can do that a lot easier. I'm going to pop these bricks just to make it a little bit easier for myself so I don't get stuck there. And then we are going to climb just slowly up here, do a ground pound, get on there. And these inconspicuous little spotlights, okay, actually I'm going to focus for this because this can go wrong very easily. Cool. You have to do those rolling dives very, very late. If you do them too early or too late, you're going to go in the opposite direction or bonk. So yeah, good to get that done. Can you not get stuck there, please? Right, there we go. That's fine. So those inconspicuous little spotlights on the ground, if you have an item, they give you a cat suit. But if you are a small character, they will give you a mushroom. So technically in itemless rules in this game, we are allowed mushrooms because things like checkpoints also give you technically what a mushroom would give you. So it's fine is what the ruling is. Now here, because I am Super Luigi, we can just do a little ground pound and a wall jump. If I wasn't, then I would actually have to spawn in an extra platform there to grab that one. Here, I'm going to get 2 of these piranha creepers out of the way so I don't take damage. Very nice strat there. Actually a 380 strat as well that I've started using. Would recommend that because a lot of the time people just don't try and get rid of those and then take damage, lose a cat suit, which is pretty bad. Especially as, you know, the penultimate level of your entire 4-hour speedrun. So that is brutal, by the way. That's far more brutal than it looks. The first few times I did that, I just failed it because those piranha pots, they are not very forgiving for actually hitting those fuzzies. They sometimes just don't hit them, even though you're right next to the fuzzies. I'm just going to play safe here. We're coming up to the end of the mystery house. And here's Boom Boom. Boom Boom's quite a trick because you got to wait a few seconds for him to disappear. Grab that stamp. and then we are finished. All 30, first try. I can't believe I did that first try, and then I failed Captain Toad for like 50 seconds. It's fine.
Marathon, give us Marathon, take it away.
Exactly that. So we're going to warp, as I said, we're going to go straight there. But you might be thinking, okay, so he could just use Peach here, right? He could just use Peach and just cheese it with the float. No, we're going to use Luigi. So Luigi on this does... Okay, can you actually go the right way, please? I'm holding the direction, he just dives in the other direction. Okay, you know what? I'm going to restart that. Yeah, it'll be faster to just die. I'm not playing the rest of it with small Luigi. No, we're not doing that. So, yeah, what we can actually do is some of this is slightly faster with Luigi. I still use Peach in actual runs that feature Champions Road, but... Oh, no, come on. Okay, right. I don't know why it's not working, because that just works normally. Okay, it's fine. I'll just focus when we get there again. But yeah, normally I use Peach because the Peach float's pretty good. I'm normally going slow enough to just justify using Peach anyway, really. Alright, so here we hit you, and then we hit you, and then we don't really have enough speed, so I'm going to do a little wall jump. Sometimes a diagonal one. That was a diagonal one there. Doesn't really matter. We make it either way. And then here, I actually like to play fast. It looks like it's risky, but I actually kind of like playing fast because it makes it easier for me to get used to. Anyway, here we're going to use Gyro. Of course, itemless is allowed, but Gyro is not banned. Gyro is, of course, the best item in the game. Nice little bounce there. And then here, every chance I take damage, yeah, that's fine. So we are going to have to do the rest damageless as well. Then here, normally you're able to use the cat suit to climb up. Of course, we don't have that, so we're going to have to do it normally. And then here, because of the extra movement options in this game, we can just do a little Odyssey roll at the end. Now, interestingly, if you're doing normal 380, or anything that features Champions Road, 100%, for instance, you could climb round this on the left-hand side of where that water bubble was sitting. However, here, we don't have a cat suit, so we can't do that. And also, it's kind of difficult to do. I've only ever done it in one PB once, and that's only because I wasn't on PB pace. So, yeah, by doing that, you essentially skip this entire water bubble. It saves a bunch of time, but it means you have to climb up the clear pipe or the wall, and it's just a bit difficult if you don't do it very often. Here, we're going to do a deep dive, get straight in that clear pipe, which disappears for whatever reason. It just tricks you. So here we're going to use Gyro, and hopefully we're going to grab these 5 keys and the star without taking damage. I'm going to do these rolls, and then we are going to have just 5 keys to grab. Never mind, we're going to die. Okay, we're going to have to do it all again. I was holding left, I was holding up and left, and I died. No. Okay, it's fine. I finished.
This one's the charm.
I finished 10 minutes ahead. It's all right. I'm gonna finish. I was hoping I was gonna finish in 10 minutes with this and keep the marathon running on time. I'm the one that's bringing it behind. My bad. Yeah. Unfortunately, no checkpoints in Champions Road. Otherwise, it's not really a challenge, really. That is a shame. I mean, I do like to have a hit of damage going into that section because the boost pads and the energy orbs things, yeah, pretty unforgiving. Let's not die. Yeah, so really that's the only other way. Oh, we're going through with one hit again. No, I just tried to do it at the end. Oh, no. Okay, right. Come on. So I can actually freeze those with the gyro as I normally do, but some of the time I just prefer not to do that. Okay, each playthrough of Champions Road takes about 3 minutes, so we are still able to finish under 15. Right, let's just play this one a little bit slower. Managed to get sprint speed up there. That's another thing with this version. Sprint speed is charged a lot quicker compared to Wii U. There we go, nice. I think I got thrown off by the fact that I only killed one of these in the previous one. I mean, not like I even died here, but still. Oh, come on! What?
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Wow, we just fell down to 999 lives. I need to start grinding lives on this profile again. Okay. While we're playing the exact same level again, fun fact, the max lives in this game is 1110. Because whenever you hit the past 9, you get a crown instead. So, yeah, 1110 lives. I'm pretty sure there's a category extension that's like max lives or something. Or like unique 1-ups or something. That is an interesting category. Having to grab like 100 unique 1-ups, that's pretty difficult. Because you can't even like life farm for that. You actually have to like know where the 1-ups are. Anyway, that's not what we're doing.
That's my birthday, November 10th.
Nice. Okay, I'm scared. Okay, now we're doing this with no power-up, so yeah. Alright, okay, I'm gonna really focus this time. Alright, let's just freeze that. What? Oh no. Okay, I'm gonna give it like a couple more goes. Or I'm gonna have to give up. Literally the last part is the boost pad section. Okay. That one don't count, that one don't count. Right, okay.
You got this. Chat, give him your energy.
Yeah, the last part is literally just the boost pads, so if I don't get it, I've already got to the last bit, so it doesn't really matter too much. But I would like to complete it. Okay, I've done that too early. I can't do the spike bar section without taking damage, I just can't risk it. Honestly, did not expect this to be the choker. Like, I've choked Mystery House a lot more. Because of how many difficult stars there are. Like, 4 in a row. Oh my god, I'm not restarting again. Okay. It's alright, we're just gonna do the entire rest damageless. That can't possibly go wrong. Barely made that. You sort of like clip onto that platform sometimes. No, don't hit me. No, you stay. And then you stay as well. No, you stay. Alright, that's fine. That was scuffed, but it's okay. Alright, thankfully you don't get hit by that when you're small. Okay, right, we did do that damageless. That's an improvement on last time. Oh no, 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 don't do that, don't do that. Bounce on all of them. That is the plan. That is what we're sticking to. Right, Piranha Creepers. Okay, now we've got to do this water bubble again. This will be my last attempt. This is far too scary for its own good, honestly. The fact that you can fall out as well, like you don't go into a 2D state when you're here, you can actually go like the other way. Like you can fall out from the front. So you have to be a bit careful. Yeah, you'd think it'd just sort of lock you out, like there'd be an invisible wall or something. No, you can just fall out. I know this from experience. Thankfully not in a run, I don't think. But I might be wrong about that. Okay, right. One go at this. The first go doesn't count because we didn't grab a key. That's the rules. No, don't. Good. Managed to freeze it in time. Right, can I actually jump in a direction I would like to, please? Alright, okay. Barely readjusted in time there. Yes, we did it! Oh nice. My goodness. Wow, that took far too long. Okay, and then we get thank you. And fun fact about thank you, if you are a top runner of the longer categories, there is a thing called thank you skip. Needless to say, I'm not doing that here. But basically, you just climb on the clear pipes. I don't ever do that. Yeah, even when I was facing the fact that I would only get like a few second PB, I still didn't do it. It's just not reasonable. It's the last thing you do in the entire run, and that's time.
All right. GG. Champions Road throwing everything possible at you there.
Yeah.
But congratulations on finishing through. That was an awesome world crown.
Exhausted after that.
Tell the people where they can find you. Shout out who you want to shout out.
All right, I can be found anywhere on twitch.tv/SMMidi. Or on YouTube as well. I post all my PVs there as well, and Twitter, stuff like that. SMMidi _. Yeah, we do runs like this a lot. I only really do 3D World for Mario, but if you're interested in other stuff, I do a lot of runs where nobody else ever dares to touch them. A lot of challenge runs, or challenge speed runs. So sort of a mix of both. Where no one ever dares to touch it because it seems so absurd. Things like that. Yeah, lots of different games. So yeah, go and check it out. Doing a lot of 380 of this recently, which is a longer run, and includes Champions Road, but with items, which is a lot nicer, admittedly. But yeah, thanks for just having me on the event. And I also want to shout out just everyone involved behind the scenes, tech, scheduling. Just so much effort has gone in the last few days leading up to the marathon. So yeah, just so much good coming out of it. Obviously, we've got 50 trees planted because of this run alone, and I'm sure there's a lot more on the total. So yeah, thanks everyone for donating. Go and donate if you can. And yeah, that is all. And go and check out the Discord if you wanna learn about this game. There's a Discord.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Midi. So we are going to throw it to a quick intermission, and when we get back, we are going to start one of my favorite sets of games. We've got an amazing doubleheader for you. It's going to be Upper Casserole running Death's Door any percent into Hollow Knight any percent hitless. You do not want to miss it, so we'll be right back.